welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast. My name is Mark Stores, and hanging out with me, as always, is
Rob Morphy.
Oh, Robert, thank you for joining us on this glorious Christmas day. Sadly, our own Christopher succumbed to the Christmas crud.
He did.
But we are here together.
He got grinched.
Dude, he got grinched so hard. Chris is okay. He's under the weather. He's homesick. Robert and I are enacting the Yuletide Thunderdome protocols. Rarely seen. Only been used like twice. Once in 32 and I think once in the 60s.
When the jingles bell, you know it's fucking on.
Dude, there it is. And coincidentally enough, this is coming out on Christmas Day.
I know.
So Merry Christmas, everybody.
Absolutely.
Happy holidays, whatever you're into. Enjoy time with your family. As you're unwrapping presents, you could put this podcast on.
Sure.
Maybe don't.
I mean, depending on the company you're keeping.
Yeah, you could put this on and listen as you're unwrapping all your gifts from Nana and all kinds of shit.
But it is just barely theme appropriate, as this week we are dealing with elves.
Oh, you are theme appropriate. Did you plan this?
Fuck yeah.
Really?
Come on, I saved it.
That's adorable.
I mean, it's not really anything to do with Christmas or the North Pole, but it's got fucking elves. So
de facto fucking
Christmas
man.
episode, bitches. You're welcome.
That's awesome. Before we get started with the episode, we wanted to let everybody know, obviously pod time, how we record our schedule. We are always we always record a week ahead of time. So we are going to be taking off the week between Christmas and New Year's, so there will not be an episode January 1st.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, so we're having a little Christmas break.
Yeah, we need it.
We're going to give ourselves
lots of family stuff, lots of fucking illnesses running around in central New York. So we're all just trying to protect ourselves, take care of our peeps, and get a little Jesus respite.
Yeah, man. Just a little bit of time with that whole Christmas, New Year's week where everything's kind of nebulous and insane. So we're gonna have the week off. So there will be no episode on January 1st. We'll be back on the 8th.
Yeah,
so this makes this our last episode of 2023.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, look at that.
Goodbye, 2023.
Yeah.
A fine year, really.
Yeah, no.
A solid upgrade on 2022 and certainly the few years before that.
Yeah, no, I think everything's been pretty good. We got this new studio, a bunch of new things happening. It's super cool. So super excited, man.
Right on.
There it is.
Nice to be going into a new year with, optimism.
Yeah, dude, I mean, it's a rarity.
It is.
I think we try every year and we fail miserably.
I'm hoping there's no, dramatic, ironic, the fucking pride goeth before the fall kind of thing.
Oh, dude.
So now I'm paranoid.
Do we get fucked in February?
Dude, we always get fucked in February.
We do.
Oh, unlubed. It's the worst kind of fucking.
We already started because Chris is already gone.
Yeah, so shit.
Jesus
God, no. You know what? No, I'm not letting this happen. Merry fucking Christmas. I am happy it's going to be a good goddamn 2024
there you
for
go.
all of us.
There it is. All right, man. Well, there it is. As you mentioned, we were talking about elves. The rats are coming. The elves are here.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a pretty crazy. Now that I'm reading that title, I'm like, the rats are coming. The elves are here. The rats are coming. The elves are here.
Hey! Yeah, no, it's like that. I'm going to explain in more detail than anyone's going to want why I picked that title.
Okay, all right.
But you do your intro. Or you know what? Fuck it. I'll read why I picked it. Let's just deal with that first. Let's fuck up protocols. Chris isn't here.
No, that's right.
Papa Pod is gone sick.
Okay.
We can do what we want, shirtless.
Oh, dude.
Tees versus tits. Let's do it.
We both have nice tits. So I already got my fucking shoes off. So, all right, man. Well, explain to us why you're doing this, and then I will read the intro.
The title I chose for this piece will no doubt ring a bell for trash cinema aficionados as being an homage to the late, not-so-great 16mm auteur Andy Milligan's brilliantly titled 1972 period piece, The Rats Are Coming, The Werewolves Are Here. For those unfamiliar with Milligan's oeuvre, he was a mostly New York City-based, ultra-low-budget filmmaker who had the unmitigated gall to use his own costumes and off-Broadway actors to make semi-extravagant, horror-themed period pieces for pennies on the dollar, often using his own rundown Victorian-style Staten Island home as a stand-in for merry old England. Now, if you're wondering why I'm taking time to do this micro dive into the work of Andy Milligan, the answer is simple. It's 1/3 my podcast, so I can write what I want. But more importantly, I think people ought to discover his complex, gritty, bohemian, mean-spirited, hopelessly melodramatic, often inept, and always difficult to endure from-the-gut cinema for themselves, if only to see what one can achieve with moxie and raw ambition. Talent be damned. But if I'm being honest, the only tenuous association between the films of Andy Milligan and the experiences claimed by one family visiting Oregon in the late 90s is that both are batshit crazy, stretching the limits of credulity to their breaking point. But even though Milligan's patience-trying epics were works of boundless ambition, little means, and even less acumen, they were clearly fiction. While the events that beset the vacationing Bedloe family in July of 1997 were uncomfortably real.
Oh, damn, a little change up there for Robert. Let's get started with, in the summer of 1997, a family of four arrived at a picturesque cabin surrounded by lush Oregon forests nestled on the high cliffs above the Pacific, a paradise on Earth. But as they unpacked, looking forward to what ought to have been an idyllic fortnight on a stunning stretch of American woodland, they could little have suspected that their dream come true was destined to devolve into a living nightmare that thrusts this well-educated couple and their unsuspecting children headlong into a world occupied by fairy tale fiends come to shocking life.
Although the logistics surrounding or the decision-making that went into Lloyd and Margie Bedloe's determination to vacation in a remote and decidedly not kid-safe part of the cliff-ridden Oregon coastline are not available, one can suspect that the Bedloes, like most American families, were in dire need of a break. As Margie and Lloyd were both teachers, they spent ample time with other people's kids. And as the couple, who were 47 and 48 respectively, and late-blooming parents of two young daughters, 8-year-old Violet and 13-year-old Deanne, it would seem that the Bedloes were in need of a vacation more than most. Whatever the circumstances may have been, an isolated cottage surrounded by pristine forests and the crash of waves somewhere on the wild coast of Oregon was deemed to be just the cure. With what one hopes was a great deal of excitement, the Bedloes packed the family car and made their way to this Arcadian destination. Assuming they weren't raw novices in the realm of roughing it, they were surely prepared for mosquitoes and wildlife run-ins, perhaps even a Bigfoot sighting or two. But what this thoroughly modern family was absolutely not ready for were the kinds of creatures that might crawl, all bent wands, gnarled spines, and tattered wings, from the pages of The Secret Commonwealth. I can't help but imagine one of Brett Manning's beautiful ink fairy designs that she does, those brilliantly lush illustrations. And if it was just all rank and fucked up, the filth elf. I don't know why I'm seeing it this way, but it is just a nightmare from her pen to my imagination.
That's amazing. What up, Brett?
Yeah, your work is amazing. If you don't know Brett Manning, artist, fucking find out quick.
She is the best, dude.
She really is. And we got her shit hanging in our stew.
Oh, we do.
Oh, it's so
got
great.
A couple pieces from her.
All right. But yeah, that's how I see the shit.
All right, man. Fucking gnarled ass elves and shit. Merry Christmas, y'all. Let's do it.
The Bedloes account, which Barton Nunley shared with the wider world in his extensive and thoroughly enjoyable The Inhumanoids, Real Encounters with Beings That Can't Exist, which we literally just cited in Mud Monkey Mayhem.
We did.
The Simians of Summershade.
We did.
2 pods ago.
We did not.
Great book.
Cite that during your UAP disclosure.
No, we did not.
No, we did not.
No, Nunley was not mentioned.
No.
Didn't need to. He's doing his own goddamn UFO thing.
Maybe he can get into it.
I mean, I'm not saying he's not.
I think the government needs Nunley.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not
Congress needs Nunley.
Wow.
Yeah.
I second that emotion.
All right. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So the account begins as the family arrived at their destination. They moved quickly to unpack as the sun was dipping low on the horizon, and they wanted to get a hike in before it was dark. As her parents and teenage sister were unloading at a furious pace, young Violet wandered inside by herself, making her way through room after room until she came to the old wooden door that led to the final room in the back of the long cabin. So the way I imagine it situated, even though it wasn't specifically, laid out,
right,
is that it's like a series of rooms that basically are going back like log cabin long style.
Mm-hmm.
So it's room after room after room, but it just keeps going deep. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it was, but that's the impression I got.
It was built before hallways.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man, think about it.
Oh, how weird would that be? A
Dude,
house without halls.
In a room, in a world of no hallways.
Oh, my God. That's like a 90s trailer come to life.
Dude.
Jesus Christ. So anyway, she's making her way door after door, room to room, to the back door, and you can just see that, like that slow shot. Even that one, that awesome one they used to do back in the 80s where you zoom in but pull the camera back at the same time.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it gives you that weird distorted feel as like they have some weird musical sting. It's fucking phenomenal. But whatever. We're back to Violet alone in the house. She came to the old wooden door that led to the final room in the back of the long cabin, holding her tattered stuffed kitten, adorably named Muggins, close to her chest. Margie, her mother, who was unloading groceries, overheard her youngest whisper into the inanimate animal's ear, "I hope we don't have to sleep back there. I hope we get the bedroom by the kitchen." And that was a perfect 8-year-old girl, by the way. I think I nailed it.
Any 8-year-old girl that
100%.
sounds like that is fucking terrifying.
She's got to take it down to 2 packs a day.
You're like, Violet, enough with the fucking marbs.
Ear, nose, and throat doc immediately.
Jesus, yeah, you need to go to sleep study and get that fucking nose fixed, girl. God damn, son of a bitch.
This struck Margie as odd. Not that Violet was speaking to her stuffed toy, which was a common enough occurrence, but that she too had felt something odd. As Margie later told Nunnally, "Almost from the very first moment I set foot in the cabin, I felt a strange vibe coming from one of the storerooms in the back. I think Violet, our little one, who just turned 8 that May, felt it as well." End quote. But before Margie had time to broach the subject with her little girl, the car was unpacked and Lloyd and Deanne were rearing to go on their much-anticipated hike. Deciding to deal with it later, Margie grabbed Violet's hand and the quartet bounded up one of the many narrow paths leading away from the cabin. The walk was breathtaking. The sun was still high enough to afford a perfect view of the forest, but just low enough to illuminate the scene in those first lush tones of sunset. From the distant roar, the family knew that they were steadily approaching a waterfall. Deanna and Violet excitedly ran ahead of their parents, but stayed within sight. Lloyd could almost feel his blood pressure dropping with every bramble-crunching step he took into the natural splendor surrounding them. Margie beamed, seeing everyone so happy. All was right with the world. Until it wasn't.
Oh.
The first sign that something strange was afoot came in the form of a vaporous mist that seemed to suddenly waft in from both sides of the forest, curling through the foliage with finger-like tendrils before coalescing on the thin trail. What they might have at first taken to be steam from the waterfall within seconds condensed into an impenetrable soup of surprisingly dark fog that swiftly swallowed their daughters, even though they were less than 10 feet ahead. Margie recalled the icy terror that gripped her heart. Quote, "A strange kind of mist settled around us. It was very frightening. We couldn't see a thing or each other. The girls had been walking ahead of us, and we called out to them to answer us and walk back towards us at once." So you can feel that little panicky kind of mode setting
Yeah,
in.
man, but if you're out in the woods and all of a sudden the vaporous mist and the tendrils of the devil show up.
Oh, that's Evil Dead as shit.
Yeah, it is. And you know what you do? You fucking leave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You stop taking in the sights and you say, "Hey, gals.
Ding, ding, ding.
We're out.
Scoot.
Get the kids.
Yep.
Peace
Round
the
them
fuck
up.
out.
Round them up.
There you go. See
Pack
ya.
it up.
There
No,
you
leave
go.
the shit in the cabin. We don't need it anymore. It's
No,
possessed. Let's
fucking
go.
Satan's smoke is filling the fucking
We're going to burn the
forest,
car
dude.
once we get home. Just go. Go, go, go.
We're gonna burn the car.
Fucking done with this place.
That's great.
But you and I perhaps are overreactive. Perhaps. Because we've seen
dude,
many
I'm
scary
fucking,
films.
I'm done, dude. I'm
Yeah,
out.
I agree. No, as a dad, I think you're going to find a lot of places in here where you would be handling things
Okay,
differently.
good.
A lot.
Okay, well, I'm not here to judge, just here to give my dad point of view.
Fair enough.
There it is.
Deanne called back to her mother immediately, her voice full of fear. Then she uttered the words that every parent dreads. She couldn't find Violet. Lloyd and Margie moved forward, shouting for their youngest daughter, their fingers groping into the opaque cover. They found Deanne, and Margie held onto her with one arm and her husband with the other. Pushing forward blindly, the threesome continued screaming Violet's name, their arms and faces getting slashed at by the dense shrubbery that hugged the slender path. Agonizing minutes crawled by as they continued up the treacherous trail, their voices growing hoarse from the continuous bellows. They could hear the rush of water up ahead, and the parents almost certainly thought the worst. Then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the ominous, roiling tentacles of spectral fog retreated, leaving the route just as clear as it had been moments before. But there was still no sign of Violet. Just as full-blown panic was about to set in, the Bredlows heard a muffled sob and Violet's voice calling out behind them. They whirled around, mouths agape, a combination of relief, shock, and anger running through their minds. Margie recalled. There she was, walking up the trail right behind us. We all knew that it was impossible for her to have walked by us as we were clustered together on the narrow path, shouting our lungs out for her. When asked how she had gotten behind them, Violet answered, "They carried me through the air and set me down again. It was pretty scary, but they promised they wouldn't hurt me."
Oh, somebody read goddamn flags.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
I mean, if you're not taking your family out from the roiling fucking tendrils,
no,
then this shit, dunzo.
Right. Jesus.
When pressed as to why she hadn't responded to their heart-wrenching cries, Violet insisted that she hadn't heard a sound. And stranger still, she hadn't seen any trace of the black fog that had enveloped her family. No doubt frustrated by Violet's insistence that she had neither seen nor heard what transpired, and facing the very real possibility of walking to the cabin in pitch blackness if they tarried any longer, Lloyd corralled his clan, and they speedily walked back down the path and into the relative security of the cabin. In his book, Nunley observed that while Lloyd and Deanne were content to ignore what happened, the matriarch's instincts were kicking into overdrive. Quote, Margie later commented that she should have made everyone pack up and leave immediately. There was something very strange about the cabin and the woods around it. I felt it, she claimed, but I couldn't define it, so I told myself not to allow my imagination to run away with my reason. End quote. Spoken like a true teacher and someone who's never seen a fucking horror film in her life.
Dude, always go with your gut, dude.
Always go with your gut.
Even when you think you're like, I might be overreacting, you're not.
I mean,
this is how we got this far as a species.
If there's a crowd of people, look what Noah did. I mean, it's a weird biblical comparison.
Wait,
that
what?
motherfucker just stuck to his guns and built an ark no matter what people were saying.
Oh.
But you're in the woods. Are the squirrels going to judge you? Just fucking leave. So you lose the deposit on the fucking 2-week cabin.
Right.
Big whips. Go to a fucking, Best Western. Find one with a pool, some cable. Everyone gets to read their books, do their shit.
Like a few years back, I think I may have talked about this on Patreon. We were camping in the Adirondacks. We showed up to our site, and there was a cabin next to us. I met the dudes next to us for maybe 5 minutes, and I was like, we're moving.
Oh,
and that was
really?
It. Yeah,
yes, I do kind of recall this.
It didn't take much for me to be like, and this is not going to be a thing. And we went to bed. I promptly woke up at like 4:30. I went down and said, hi, yeah, we have a cabin over here. We're going to be moving it because the guys next to us, though I'm sure they're lovely gentlemen, probably not great because I got my kids here. So see y'all later.
Right
and
on.
then I later ran into them and I was like, oh, guys, what's up? Yeah. Like, oh, man, where'd you go? We're going to party. I'm like, nah, man, sorry. Couldn't party. Had to get a new spot.
Babies.
Sorry, dog.
But you trusted your gut, which is the moral of the story.
Sure as shit did. And my wife was fucking pissed. So
really?
Oh, man.
She was down to party.
No. She was pissed about them being there. She was like, we're fucking out of here. And
no, knowing Nick, I totally think
I'm like,
that's
babe,
true.
fucking we're out of here, girl. There you go. Pack your shit, girl. We're moving.
Wow.
Continuing.
Indeed. As darkness descended, the family did their best to shove their brush with high strangeness out of their minds and savor the solitude. Everyone, that is, except for Violet, she was still living in the world that the rest of her family had only briefly visited. After supper, Margie saw her youngest preparing 2 paper plates with leftovers of their meal. When she asked what she was doing, Violet simply responded, "They must be fed twice a day, or they will become very angry at us and make us leave."
Oh, boy.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So is this at least the 3rd bell that's ringing? Is this the 3rd flag that goes in, the pin you put in to say,
man.
oh, fuck?
When she's like, Mother, we must feed them, Mother.
I know. What are they, fucking mogwais?
Yeah,
Feed them twice a day or the wrath will be insurmountable, Mother. That's a better 8-year-old Violet.
That is a way better Violet.
Tiny fucking Violet there.
Better than mine.
Yeah. Please, sir. May I feed the elves?
All right, little tiny plates, making them food. I don't feed these little sons of bitches. Maybe we're jumping to conclusions here.
Yeah, you might be.
We should let Christmas in our hearts, Robert.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Changing the tone.
Oh, you know how it's going to
it's going to go.
Happen.
Yeah, no, you know exactly how
There's
going
to be a kick and I'm going to demand a gun.
You know I would put my extra firm steel toes on and it would be a kick frenzy with Uncle Rob. When an amused Margie asked who they were, the child replied, "The 2 little people who carried me in the air above the trail and who live in the storage room."
Oh, God damn it. All right, she didn't even try to hide it. She's
Yeah,
like,
that's
no.
that's two pins right there.
Yeah, dude.
Considering
2 pins?
Yeah, 2 pins. Boop, boop. I didn't know if I was putting flags, bells, or pins. I'm sticking with pins now. We're putting pins in all the
We
scares.
had flags. We tried bells. Now we got pins.
I'm trying to think. You know, I feel like we have an imaginary bulletin board, and we have all the red yarn and bullshit.
Right.
And I was trying like thumbtacks, and I was trying stamps and dumb shit. And I'm like, none of this is working. These little flags suck because they're obscuring everything. So I'm like, fucking, you know what? Pins.
All right, fine.
We got pins in it now.
Put a pin in it.
So put another pin in it.
All right.
Likely the 5th. I lost count.
All right, fine.
Already. Continuing on. Considering the intuitive warning flashes Margie had been receiving all day, one would think she'd have realized that her daughter, likely through no fault of her own, was dabbling with the dark unknown. But living and teaching in the so-called real world made up of material science and cause and effect left no room for illogical gut instinct to take precedence, especially when heeding these instincts would have been the equivalent of throwing a stick of dynamite into her family's long-established holiday plans. So, like so many others, Margie turned a blind eye to Violet's play acting and figured there was nothing wrong with allowing her daughter some playtime with imaginary friends. Yeah.
Nah, you invited him in.
You did?
You
said it was okay. You know, you did? You didn't put a pin in it.
Yeah. No, you did
Motherfuckers.
Hindsight sirs 2020.
Yeah, you're right. So, I mean, I'm pretty big in the judgment. I'm sitting on my throne of judging lies.
I know, dude. We got to get off of our Judge Dredd thrones here, man. All right. We got to put the lawgivers away. We're okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's fair.
There you go.
Intrigued and noting that Violet looked a little nervous, Margie even offered to escort her into the back room. Violet handed her mom one of the plates and slowly opened the storage room door. She then took both plates and set them just inside the door. Violet then plopped down on her knees and awaited the arrival of her new friends. Margie watched with amusement until her frustrated daughter piped up, "They say they won't eat while we're watching." Violet stood up, reaching for her mother's hand. The pair turned, but hadn't walked more than a few feet when the door slammed shut behind them. Margie couldn't stop herself from jumping and letting out a little shriek, which brought Lloyd, ever the dutiful husband and father, running. Nunley wrote, when asked what was going on, Violet told him that they were feeding 2 little people in the storage room. Assuming that she meant chipmunks or wood rats or some other quote-unquote cute animal, he chided her for feeding vermin, then opened the door to have a look. Sure enough, there sat 2 plump-looking rats eating the leftover food from the plates. Then both Margie and Deanne looked inside and saw the rats for themselves. Like his wife, Lloyd was likely no stranger to indulging his daughters. But where dirty, lice-infested, bubonic plague-carrying vermin are concerned, the line must be drawn.
Yeah, as a dad, you can't have rats in the cabin, man.
No.
You just can't,
That's something you have to be able to identify with.
Yeah.
Rats have rabies, man. They can bite babies.
A lot of things got
babies
rabies.
with rabies. No bueno.
Dude, babies with rabies. Is that our new punk rock band?
Shit, definitely.
Oh, man. All right. Yeah, dude. It's a bad scene, man. Can't be feeding rats.
No.
Nah.
Come on.
That's some bad
I mean, I'm
shit.
down. I got some St. Francis in me. I'm down with like feeding some birds, taking care of some shit. Throw some coffee grounds on the ground for worms.
We know how you feel about old possums.
Yeah. Well, I don't fucking care for those fucks, but most things I'll feed. Those rat dirty. I'm not even going to get into it. We don't have time right now.
I'm pretty sure that they can't get rabies, but okay.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. We will definitely.
So
get
everything they
emails
do is based on hate
from the opossum people.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean,
all right.
Hey,
all right. So they all see the rats.
All right, man. Not good.
Lloyd lunged for a nearby broom, but Violet, reading the intent in his eyes, grabbed his leg and screamed, "Please, Daddy, don't hit them with the broom. You're going to make them very, very mad." That extra very carries a lot of weight.
No, it does. It does.
Undeterred, he shook her off, but just as he got to the door, it once again violently slammed in his face. Infuriated, the man of the cabin, no doubt muttering a series of jaunty expletives beneath his breath, did his level best to jimmy the door open, but it would succumb neither to force nor cunning, and after a while, Lloyd stomped back to his perch on the front porch, still grumbling that the door must have locked itself from the inside. That dad's pissed.
Oh,
he did not win the war of the door.
No, dude, as a father, I know that war and I lose it all the time.
Oh.
So I'm just like, frickin' son of a
There's
bitch.
no honorable retreat.
No.
There's just profane
And you
stumbles.
You can't kick it like fathers of the past where you just kick the
no.
door in.
Once upon a time.
Oh, yeah, God, when a dad could be a dad and just boot a door and then be like, that's right, I broke it. You know what, God damn it, I'm wrong and I'll fix it.
And if you didn't do that, then you were the asshole.
Yeah, right?
Now look how things have changed.
There you go. Oh, man.
Be that as it may, and despite the Herculean efforts Lloyd poured into opening the portal, almost as soon as he retreated, the door inexplicably popped open on its own, and the 2 paper plates, now licked clean, came sailing out before gently floating to the floor. You could just see it, you know?
Oh, man, this is going nowhere good.
Margie was flabbergasted, but her surprise converted to shock when Violet turned to her and said, "They liked your potato salad and Jell-O, Mommy, but they really wanted more of the baked beans. Oh, and they don't really like to be called rats, but they can look like anything we want them to."
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, at least they complimented the mother on her food. That's
Yes,
nice.
they did.
That's a nice silver lining.
Even the
right there.
goddamn Jell-O, which no one deserves a compliment on.
Nah,
For 2 reasons. 1, it's beat. 2, you didn't do really much, did you? Don't take credit for that.
I don't think I'm really a big Jell-O guy at all.
No.
Maybe a cup here or there when I'm sick. And even
Jell-O
then,
shots? Surely.
Yeah, I don't even fuck with those, man.
I mean, I
You
will.
know me. I'm not a big liquor
No,
guy
I
at
know.
all. It's not my jam, man. You can't.
But honestly, I don't think in the last, I don't know how many decades I've had Jell-O not in liquor form.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, why the fuck would I eat We live in a world where pudding exists. Why the fuck would I eat Jell-O?
Yeah, true.
It's ridiculous.
All
And
right,
those
man.
fucking old weird salads fuckers used to make, like my grandma used to make that shit with like
Oh, yeah. That
fruit salad and fucking
Yeah.
lettuce sticking out and celery stalks and dumb shit all
yeah,
molded
man.
together.
Put a rat in that fucker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
rat.
my God. Desperate
Dude,
living.
fucking
Just like John Waters did in the poster.
Fucking rat Jell-O salad,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
That's got to be a Sabbath song, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ. But they liked the food, like you
All right,
said.
well,
So that was
good.
good. They
Cool.
really dug the baked beans, huh? You know, the sweet
yeah.
beans. Not a big fan myself, but hey, I'm not against
A little
baked
bit of
beans.
a brown baked bean?
Sure.
Come on, man.
I like the potato
With
salad.
some of those good barbecue joint baked beans, dude.
Okay, yeah,
that's
that's
the
a cut
hot
above.
shit right
like
there.
homemade shit with like the bacon all on
Oh
top.
yeah, dude.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah.
Dude, you get yourself
That's a
some
starchy heaven.
of those dinosaur barbecue baked beans. Oh damn,
yeah, those motherfuckers
son.
know how to do everything
Oh,
right. Collard
man.
greens, it doesn't matter.
It's gonna be farting up for days, son. Days.
So they like the food.
Okay, good. I think that we made that evidently clear.
I know. I'm just trying to get back on point, and that's the only one I have.
You want to talk about baked beans? Don't lie.
God damn it. I'm
All
not
right,
really
man.
that hyped up on them.
All right, come on.
At this point, Margie was ready to start asking some of the questions that she was earlier willing to ignore. The first that came to mind was, how did Violet know what they were saying? The little girl, as unbothered by this development as one would hope any child might be, claimed that she could hear them inside her head.
Psychic communication with the unknown, man.
Classic.
Yeah.
Where's Bankman when you need him?
Shifting rats that talk to you in your mind.
You know, it's vacation. What are you going to do? You
Yeah.
roll with it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're at Niagara Falls, goddammit, and we're not leaving.
We paid for 2 weeks. We're taking the 2
Niagara
weeks.
Falls, Jesus.
Yeah, fucking the cliffs
There's
of
not
fucking
that much
Oregon.
to look at.
No, there really isn't.
Fuck, man.
Man, I spent days there, but after like the 4th day, you're like, I've done Niagara Falls
Yeah.
pretty thoroughly.
Yeah, no, after a small bout of fucking alcohol poisoning, I'm like, I'm ready to go back to America.
Yeah, those beers will hit you hard.
Is there an embassy here by any chance?
I know. I need to talk to somebody from home.
I need quick.
Good Lord.
I can see Buffalo. It's right there.
Just drag me there.
Swear to God.
Margie had, of course, heard of telepathy, but had never truly considered it to be a viable form of communication, as I suppose most teachers in the late 90s would agree.
Yeah, I mean, still really not, but okay.
Still unsure as to what to make of her daughter's stories, Margie leaned in and asked what the 2 beings looked like when they weren't impersonating rodents. Jesus Christ. Violet simply replied to her that they looked like they did when they took her flying on the trail, explaining, quote, like 2 little people, but weird little people with funny, crinkly faces. Fucking those elf faces.
Oh, weird little crinkly faces.
Oh, do you remember that old book, like, I think it was Brian Froud where he painted. It was called Fairies. I had a copy of it years ago when I was a kid. I think it came out in like 78. And he just did all these like Jenny Greenteeth and all these like monstrous fairies and goblins.
It sounds familiar.
It was a classic of its kind.
Okay, right.
And it was very naturalistic fantasy artwork. But yeah, he did those like super crinkle-faced gnomes and elves where it was like wrinkle upon wrinkle and they had these sharp faces. And that's exactly what comes to mind with this description. And probably they're old as shit. They're like elementals or whatever the fuck fairies are supposed to be. I mean, I really don't know. I'm still working on it. I have theories and I'm putting them together, but I am not going full on Magonia yet.
Okay,
it's not all
right.
just the same fucking thing.
Okay.
But I do think there's a species of highly intelligent indigenous creatures that we in general call fairies, that, you know, are elves, goblins, the whole fucking 9 yards, that are living here, sharing this world, though not necessarily all aspects of the physical realm.
Okay.
Who have access to go in and out, and they can drag you away, and then you can, you know, miss 17 years of your fucking life because you went into a dance party, a rave in Elfland or whatever. So whatever, I'm still working that out. But these fucking things are probably old as shit, and I guess that would explain the wrinkles.
Oh yeah, I mean they got a crazy wrinkly old man face. There you go.
There it is. Yeah, I mean I took a long route to get to that.
You sure shit did. It's okay.
I mean I said elf rave.
Yeah,
that's something.
We got elf rave out of it.
Oh man, sex with elves.
Dude,
I hear it's hot.
There's a whole Patreon about
whole
that.
Patreon
Me and my
episode.
wife
actually
talking about it.
I think we released it too on.
Is it on the regular?
Did
feed?
we ever release on the regular feed when we were
know.
strapped?
I'm not even sure.
I don't know either.
Who knows?
Anyway,
yeah, Patreon.com.
Icelandic elf sex.
Podcast. Listen to me and my wife talk about Icelandic elf sex.
Oh,
she's not down.
Nick is the best.
She is the best.
Yeah, but she's not down with fucking an elf.
Nope.
Which I guess is something you want to hear your wife say.
Well, I think it was me fucking an elf.
Oh, yeah. She probably would definitely not be down with that. Jesus Christ.
Continuing on, good sir.
With that, Violet was often playing, and Margie was left to stare in the abysmal, yawning blackness of the back room, hoping beyond hope, as off-putting as the idea was, that they'd just be spending the next few weeks sharing a space with rats, and nothing even less explicable.
I mean, if you got the choice between weird, crunchy elf face things or rats, go with the rats.
You got to pick rats.
You got to always go rats.
They're manageable.
Yeah, at least, yeah.
You don't want them running on you.
No, you can kind of get a truce with a rat.
Yeah.
You know, you can come to the table, peace talks, you can figure it out.
And it almost always turns into massacre.
You can negotiate with them.
Yeah, but you can do a little bit of reasonable negotiating.
By way of a rat trap, you can negotiate with them.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
there
you go.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right, I'm not going to get into the politics of that.
All right, let's not.
Still, if what was lurking in their back room was something beyond the pale, logic told Margie that it would be best to just indulge them and her daughter at the same time. So as the idyllic days passed with more hikes, this time without spontaneous fog or missing children, and hours filled with games, laughter, and long naps, Margie and Violet, like clockwork, kept their promise and made sure that the little people living in the back room were kept fed and hopefully happy. Their system working, Margie, a music teacher by trade, was using her spare time to work on new compositions, while Lloyd immersed himself in his reading list and the kids busied themselves outside or with puzzles. Little could she have expected that her intrepid husband, who just returned from running errands and picking up supplies in the nearby village, had a little surprise in tow just for the rats, who, as far as he was concerned, had been freeloading on his family's generosity for long enough.
Oh, man, Dad's had enough. Fuck these rats into hell.
Yeah. And, you know, he's actually taking his rage on the door out on the rats. We know that.
Well,
but he's still doing the right thing because rats are disease-carrying vermin and you have small children.
You can't be getting bitten by little rat bites at night.
No. And then what if that rat runs
No.
away? Then your baby's got to get rabies shots?
Exactly.
Come on.
Come on.
Fucking no.
Yeah.
So I'm not judging Lloyd.
Okay.
Lloyd's doing what Lloyd does.
All right. Yeah.
That's what a man does in this time period. You and I would have long since left 100 times over. He's going to fuck the rats.
Oh, no, I'm calling the Airbnb. I'm going to call the Airbnb and be like, y'all got some rats. Get rid of this shit.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Put it on them.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck, I'm paying for this fucker.
While Margie was composing and Violet and Deanne were outside playing, Lloyd found the door to the back room open. And one imagines still mutter swearing under his breath, he stepped into the eerie darkness and set a trap, baiting it with the perennial seducer of rodents, cheese.
Like a rat to cheese.
If you're animated, if you're real, no matter what the fuck you are, if you're a fucking rat, If you're a mouse, you want some fucking cheese.
We normally say at work we use like peanut butter in our traps.
Yeah, I think that is actually more effective.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think if the truth is out, fucking rodents like peanut butter more.
Probably.
But cheese is the classic.
Okay, well, let's not destroy everyone's idea of what rats like to eat.
Or Lloyd's intentions
there
here.
You go.
The events this would set in motion would within the hour flip the Breadlow's relaxing retreat ass over tea kettle and transform their nearly perfect vacation into the kind of nature run amok flick that only 70s drive-in directors would dare dream up. I'm looking at you, Bird-Eye Gordon. Rest in peace, Mr. Big. You and I got to meet him.
That's what we did. Yes, a Scarecon.
The madness that would haunt their dreams ever after began late, not long before sunset on their 5th afternoon in the cottage. Margie was working on her music when the comforting quiet was suddenly shattered by the horrific sound of metal snapping against wood, bone, gristle, and flesh, followed immediately by a shrill, inhuman shriek. Margie leapt to her feet and dashed into the adjacent room where, to her horror, she saw that the anguished scream was coming from Violet, who, in clear agony, had her palms clamped to the sides of her temples. Margie rushed to her daughter just as Lloyd and Deanne ran into the room. They watched in fear as Margie held the screeching Violet. Suddenly, something clicked in Margie's head, and she realized that the terrifying, high-pitched sound emanating from Violet's mouth was not her own. It was the scream of one of the ethereal entities that she'd claimed to have been in psychic contact with for the past week. Though she wasn't sure how, Margie intuitively understood that somehow this being's torment was being transferred to her shrieking child. Unable to break the psychic connection and put a stop to her daughter's excruciating pain, Margie got to her feet, pushed past her husband, and made a mad dash for the back room. She flung the door open and, in her own words, there, to my everlasting astonishment, was a smallish man dressed all in green, doing his best to free another elfin creature from the metal bar of the trap that had slammed down across the foot of the injured elf.
Oh, shit. Dude, this is a whole bag of nuts right here, man. You got
yeah.
the psychic connection to your daughter screaming, then you go back there and you've actually caught one.
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time, dude. Evidence.
Yeah.
You know why? Because when you need a body.
You need a body.
You got one.
I hate to say it.
You got one.
Need a body.
There you go.
Don't kill him off, man. There might be one.
Listen, we have evidence.
Yeah.
One's fucking caught, okay?
Right.
Put it in a bag.
The injured elf, obviously in incredible pain, was opening its mouth in a silent scream that was issuing in full volume from my daughter's mouth, end quote. Margie's reality was suddenly flipped upside down. But as much as she might have craved a stiff drink and a long nap during which she could contemplate the paradigm shift she just endured, the terrified mother of two knew exactly what she had to do. With a silent prayer, Margie dove forward, dug her fingers under the metal bar that had crushed the mutely shrieking creature's tiny foot, and raised it just enough for the suffering entity to pull it free. The moment she did so, Violet's terrible screams finally ceased. In a flash, the elves made their escape behind a stack of boxes in the storage room. From the shadows, Margie heard a tiny voice, trembling with rage, utter this terrible oath. If it's rats he wants, it's rats he gets.
Oh, no. They've communicated with you officially.
Yeah.
And they're not like... It's not
You're not
good.
like good Jell-O.
It's not good.
Nice beans, Mrs. Breadlow.
Oh, no, man.
Yeah, it's exactly what you expect.
And you freed it. You freed the
you
goddamn.
unleashed.
I'd be like, Nicole, don't you fucking touch that goddamn elf.
Yeah, well,
And there you go.
But I mean, when if Ev was screaming in anguish,
Yeah, true.
you gotta free the elf.
Yeah, this is a
Because
lot.
I mean, it's gonna be worse if you don't.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And if you stomp the elf to try to kill it to break the psychic connection, then she's gonna end up in like some stuporous haze of metaphysical fucking schizophrenia in a fucking home somewhere.
Nicole's probably more likely to stomp the elf than I am.
Oh yeah,
I'm
you
gonna be like,
you
no,
gotta
this
hold her back.
I'm like, this is good for the show. Stop.
No, we need the elf.
This is content for years.
Save the suit.
Yeah. When Chris gets sick with Christmas crud, we put the elf in. There you go.
Can we bleed the elf into Chris's wounds? Make him well.
Bloodlet the elf.
Chris, just drink the elf. Drink the elf. Sip the elf.
Just pour the elf's neck blood.
Just break it in half a little, find new places, like shave a little part of the elf off, put it in his food like a truffle.
Oh no, this got dark, dude.
Oh, we're gonna piss off a lot of elves. If we have any elf fans, we are fucking around. I promise you.
No, they understand. They understand. They'll become from a place we have good hearts.
You know what elves are?
What's that?
Cool.
Yeah. Oh no.
and excellent lovers, I might add.
Man, you just totally
save that one.
All right. Yeah, way to go, buddy.
Yeah, no, Cannibal Elf fucking cost is fucking over.
Totally.
Jesus. All right, we're getting back.
All right, here we go. If it's
Rats you want, motherfucker?
If it's rats he wants, it's rats he gets.
There was a hush in the air. Margie trembled, partially from the shock welling up in her system, but also because she could sense something was coming. Something awful. Without warning, streams of rats seemed to explode from everywhere. Every crevice and cupboard, nook and cranny were all abuzz with a seething swarm of scratching, squeaking, gnawing rodents. Deanne suddenly came sprinting into the storage room shouting, "Rats, Mommy! Rats everywhere!" Scores of the flea-bitten vermin scurried up the furniture, ripped open food packages, and tried crawling up the legs of the cabin's now petrified occupants, leaving deep claw marks in their wake. It was pure bedlam. In a matter of seconds, the entire cottage had become overrun with a legion of toothy vermin who all seemed to have come from nowhere. The Bredlows were absolutely stunned. Lloyd scooped young Violet up off the now squirming floor. He and Deanne couldn't believe what was happening, but Margie understood all too well what was going on. The true occupants of the cabin, those who demanded 2 meals a day as a tribute for their tolerance of these human interlopers, had been attacked by Lloyd, and the uneasy truce between the humans and their metaphysical hosts had, with a snap of a mousetrap, completely dissolved, leading to what Margie realized was all-out war. One they could not possibly win.
I mean, you got to at least make the attempt, dude. You're there. The rats are there.
I don't know. Like, literally a storm, a deluge of rats comes out. I'm fucking out.
Everybody.
Like, all the time you're going to leave from the fog, but the fucking rat storm, you're like, fuck you. You got to stand your ground.
Yeah, you're right. This might be on me.
Yeah.
Is this hubris?
Yeah.
Is this my denouement?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be it'd be your climax, and then your denouement would be the fucking rabies you died from.
Yeah, and I haven't died of rabies yet, dude.
Yeah, but you haven't been in a rat storm.
No, I remember I got bit by a kid and had to get a rabies shot.
That's true, you did.
Yeah.
You took care of business.
I did.
It was a cute fucking rabies carrier.
That cat's still around, and they kept the name Rabies.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you ever feed it?
Did I ever feed it?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Make truce. Make peace.
With the cat?
With rabies.
That's how I got bit.
I know, but after the terror.
Oh no, it was adopted out.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he has a home.
Rabies has a home.
Yeah, Rabies has a home. He has a whole. I got pictures of him like a couple months after he got adopted.
You know what I got to say about that?
What's that?
Merry fucking Christmas.
See, and then my heart grew 2 sizes that day.
Yeah, my penis stayed the same as ever. Nice going, Seuss. All right. Rat attack. Rat attack, tack.
Rat attack.
A war they cannot possibly win.
Of rats.
Fight of drama.
Yeah. My denouement. I'm saying to this fucking crowd.
Oh, God.
I'll kick every goddamn rat in the rat dick.
Oh, I would definitely kick rats to get out.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't just stay there kicking rats for kicking rats' sake.
Nah, dude. Sometimes you got to kick rats to kick rats.
No.
Dude.
I'm not cruel.
Well, no, I mean, they're attacking everything. This isn't for fun. This is for survival.
I mean, I'm a notorious kicker, but it's inanimate objects usually.
This is for survival.
Kicking for survival, completely
They're
warranted.
running at you. They're coming at your face.
Oh, yeah, you can't have that.
Trying to bite your fucking dinky balls.
You kick, punch, and fucking
exactly.
Spin jump. You do whatever you got to do.
Spin jump?
Yeah.
Okay.
Drop kick a whole fucking pile of king rats.
What's up, fucking 1997 Earth Crisis Rock?
Jesus Christ. I was in a couple of pits.
I was there too. I was there. All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Here we go. All right,
shit.
Let's spin kick our way out of this.
Though Deanne and Lloyd had not seen the creatures who'd commanded the rats to attack, they understood that the cottage was no longer theirs. Their dream vacation had ended in a violent avalanche of bellicose beasts, and the whole family understood that their only option was retreat. Grabbing anything they could lay their hands on, the Bredlows rushed through the biting throngs for the safety of the outside, leaving Margie to recall, "We just salvaged what we could and got out of there as quickly as possible." Lloyd wasted no time in throwing their meager possessions into the car and demanding his family follow suit, almost certainly admonishing them to keep the windows rolled up and not to let any of the snarling stragglers slip into the vehicle. With that, the Bredlows hit the road. 9 days earlier than expected, bitten, scratched, but mostly unharmed, save for the lingering nightmares of surging rats for Lloyd and Deanne, but of something much worse for Margie and Violet, who would, forever after, be haunted by images of insidious imps with damaged feet who can swoop away with small children and round up a horde of hungry rats at a moment's notice. It was a new reality that 8-year-old Violet likely accepted as the new norm, as small children are wont to do, but which Margie had no rational way to contend with. As a professional educator, she likely had no tolerance for such, silly subjects as ghosts, goblins, or UFOs. But from the July of 1977 forward, through all of the stages awaiting her, from grandparent to retiree to senior citizen, this unfortunate woman would never again be able to enter a cabin, a shed, a new house, or look inside a dark closet without wondering what if. What if I'm not alone? What if another intelligent creature with powers beyond my comprehension is lying in wait in the shadows, watching me right now? What if they're targeting Violet? What if the next time we're not so lucky? I can only hope that this is not how Margie felt, as that's no way to live. But it's hard to imagine any scenario where both she and Violet, and perhaps even the whole family, are not suffering from some sort of at least mildly debilitating form of PTSD from these once unimaginable horrors that they endured in the little cabin by the sea.
Oh, the rats are coming. The elves are here, Robert. You bring up a really good point, as you always do, because that's what you do.
Thank you, buddy.
At the very end there, once you experience something like this, you gotta live in an Apple store. You gotta be somewhere open,
just clean,
and
white,
bright. That you can never,
no shadows.
Yeah, dude, because no matter where you go, man, you would just be freaking the fuck out that these things are here. Now, there were protocols involved here. So,
sure. There was a deal. There was a breach of contract.
Right. To be fair, the parents didn't understand the deal. And I know we talk about a lot about negotiations, and I'm not really big into them. But being a father and seeing the rats and having my children, the rats are fucking no-go. We're fucking done here, okay?
Right.
It almost seems like this could have been solved if there was some form of communication. I'm not saying an email. I'm not saying a phone call or a text message.
Fair
Just something
enough.
being like, this is our spot. This is what we need. This is what you do.
Yeah, you think there would be like just
then
an
there's
open
technically
contract.
connecting with your fucking kids, man.
That's the problem. Like if there was like a little note saying, you leave 2 plates of food twice a day in the back
put
room.
it out.
All good.
Put it on Front
This is our
Street.
house. This is how you pay the rent.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that wouldn't have clicked because, as we all know, they're living in the real world. And Lloyd would have been like, I'm paying rent for this place. I'm not going to feed fucking imaginary creatures. And also, they don't use like a proper legal notarized method. They possess an 8-year-old girl and speak through her. After they almost kidnap her, or they just grab her, terrify the parents, put her down, which I suppose is a good way, but those are fucking mafia tactics. It's a good way to get what you want, but it's not a good way to interact with fellow fucking intelligent species.
Just a little tiny horse head.
Yeah.
Got us a miniature horse. Oh, shit.
Little chipmunk head.
Yeah. So I guess, okay.
So they approached it like fucking criminal dicks from square one. But they are powerful criminal dicks, so what do you have to do?
But
you either run away or indulge them.
Isn't that kind of what they do, though?
A lot of times.
Yeah, so I mean, this is kind of par for course.
Fairy lore is chock full of nefarious shit.
I'm trying to get them to come on our level and understand our shit. We're really, this is more like we got to get like on their level.
Wouldn't that fuck you up if while we're waiting for fucking disclosure and the birth of AI and fucking quantum computing and all these things that really seem to be on the cusp of happening, if suddenly like fairy folk just showed them like, all right, we're here. We're doing it. You guys are fucking up the planet too much. We have to fucking have deals or we're going to go to war. And they both be like adorable and terrifying. And like when all this other shit is going on, we have to be like, now I got to deal with this shit.
Dude, this is the very definition of a non-human intelligence.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
They might be the pilots that we've been looking into space for.
Man, if this comes out, it's a lot.
I said it before. I
know,
we were talking about disclosure before.
know.
If it's all fucking elves, I'm going to be like, God damn it.
Yeah, but then we got to deal with it, dude.
I mean, I will, and I'll be cool with it.
This isn't Aragorn. This isn't some cool Lord of the Rings shit. This is some legit little tiny ass bitch elves.
Right.
Yeah, it's acting
with their
like a
own
bunch of
sweet ass
shitheads.
Lockheed Martin skunk works where they're building all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah.
Coming here doing whatever the fuck they want.
And they're so tiny they can have all kinds of fucking room to build shit. Their Amazon centers would not be very big to us, but huge to them.
Sure.
Yeah.
If they even have to be terrestrial and real, they could be in another pocket realm.
Do you think they have transportation companies, Robert?
Oh my fucking God. I already lost a lung.
If you want to hear the spot in last week's pod where I become completely untethered to the earth, thank you, Edible. It's when I say transportation companies.
It was hilarious.
From that point until I got home, everything was just kind of like, I'm just smooth sailing.
You were wonderful as far as I'm concerned.
God. So if we live in a world with these things, we kind of have to abide by their shit. As much as I fucking don't want to, because I'm a goddamn American citizen paying for this fucking thing.
Right.
All right? It's bullshit.
Yeah.
But other countries, other cultures, they all like Iceland and
Ireland.
Like Ireland. They have. Is there such thing as like an Italian elf? I don't think so.
Surely there are.
Like a little.
I mean,
soprano.
I'm not an expert, but
is
of
this
course
like a little fucking
Jesus
soprano?
Christ. I'm not even going to get into that.
A little fucking tiny elf guy.
Oh God damn
It's fucking gabagool.
So yeah,
they have reverence for them,
and they do, and they show like practical respect.
Yeah,
which is weird to us, but it kind of makes sense.
Like duendes. Remember there was that whole thing on Patreon we talked about where like the farmers were like, they had like the little duende huts and they would go there and they would like give them homage and pilgrimage and
food,
give them all their
tribute.
and they gave them like smokes and shit like that because they're like, please don't.
Butts and smoked sausage.
Yeah, exactly. So they have reverence for it. We don't. So maybe this is like some old world shit mixing with new world shit, and sometimes it just doesn't work out in anyone's favor. Except these guys were like, if it's rats you want, guess what, bitch? It's rats you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they're that much older than us.
How do they control rats?
I mean, yeah, exactly. And they have access to animal mind control, shape-shifting, perhaps all sorts of like traveling technology if they're involved with the UFOs. They
showed up originally as rats.
If indeed they have these skill sets, then obviously we have to step back. If they want to negotiate, we better say thank you because they could clearly just take over.
Well, hold on. Don't sell us out so goddamn quickly. Let's come to the table here as people trying to make a deal.
Well, all right, I mean, yes, obviously we're saying this on microphone in front of however many people, God bless you all that want to hear it. But you're right. I shouldn't do that quickly. If we were speaking behind closed doors, I would say these things in a meeting. Obviously, I'm still saying them here. But then I would also add this caveat, which is they haven't done anything yet. That means one of two things. Either they are extremely restrained and have a diplomatic tendency, which does not bear out in any of the literature.
No.
Or we have something like the love of the Lord, or who knows what, or fucking iPhones, something that fucking they know is their like Achilles heel.
Are you bringing Jesus into this?
Well, I mean, like I said, it could be Jesus or iPhones. I totally threw the gambit out there.
It's his birthday, right?
All right, sure, let's do it.
There you go.
Happy birthday. Sing it now, you go to hell.
There you go.
So yeah, just say Jesus or fucking terry cloth. I don't fucking know.
Terry cloth.
Something we have.
My favorite kind of short.
That has prevented them from doing this, and we don't know we have it, and it's our ace in the hole, and they're going to act like fucking these motherfuckers don't know, and so we better stomp down, but we better figure out what it is, because if it's keeping these motherfucking crazy-ass rat motherfuckers that steal your babies and eat your fucking food and bitch about your fucking not enough beans, then we better be prepared.
Yeah, no, there's a big war coming, man. This is kind of like our fucking Wolverines type moment, man. It's us versus the elves.
Oh, yeah.
And they overrun us, and they just climb into our fucking mouths.
Do you know why we're going to fight?
What's that?
Because we live here.
That's right, goddamn it.
That's right, Charlie Sheen's finest moment.
So, yeah, I mean, okay, let's take the skeptical approach here. What could have happened? The girls could have obviously been going through something, possibly making this thing up, even though the mom claims that she did see it.
The mom is the real serious eyewitness. Yeah.
Hear me out. This could have just really been a really fucking super bad rat infestation.
Could have been.
Just saying. It has to be talked about.
Absolutely a reasonable speculation if all you're hearing is the part of the story where they were feeding rats in the back room.
Right.
Doors shut.
But she did see.
In a weird way, but it could have been the wind.
Allegedly she saw. Yeah.
But that means you definitely have to ignore the magical fog.
You do.
The little girl being able to be lifted over the parents in that tight little narrow squeeze of a fucking trail. How did these little
things pick her up? Were they like levitate her?
I mean, fucking elf magic.
I mean,
I don't know.
But it's got to be levitation. They can't just pick her up and get tall and be like, look what we can do. Like,
I mean, can they or can they not? Do
yeah,
you know
I guess
that?
I'm kind of saying,
because this
is speaking out of turn.
I mean,
here,
at least when we talk about aliens, we can pretend that they have a rationale and they're limited by traditional physics or at least rules that maybe we don't know exactly all of them yet, so they can bend them, but they're still kind of tethered to a sort of reality.
Yeah.
When it comes to like fae and fairy folk, fuck do I know?
Yeah.
Big, small, flying, do whatever the fuck they want.
Everything's in the table, man, when it comes to the fairy folk. God damn. All right. Okay.
So I don't know how they did it, but you have to ignore them lifting up the little girl, and you also have to ignore the mom releasing one from a trap.
Yeah, no, a lot of this hinges on that she experienced all this. Okay, all right, well,
so it's either a lie.
We always got to put it. It could be a lie,
or they could have eaten like I don't know, what was that fucking weird ergot or something, some dosed up fucking wheat that fucking made them all trip. And the dad just wanted to read, and Deanne just wanted to read Tiger Beat because she's 13, and fucking...
Or some weird mold that makes you hallucinate. Yeah, and you're like, transportation companies.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, transportation companies, man.
So if they got super high and didn't know it, and the little girl is having imaginary friends, and she plants the seed in her mom's ear, and then suddenly she's full on hallucinating that rats are fucking elves with their legs trapped, commanding rats to come out. And then it's like 7 rats that just come out of that room because they're hungry, and everyone's like, fucking rats! And they fucking run away.
Fucking rats.
Because they're all high as shit. But to me, that's almost harder to believe than fucking elves.
The Occam's razor here is the elves that command rats.
Yeah. Which is terrible.
Welcome to the Cryptonaut podcast.
Yes, you're home now. After all that depressing fact shit from last week, you're back home with fucking weird rats and weirder elves.
There you go. That's, you know what? And that's how you say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
There it is. Thank you for joining us, Cryptonaut Podcast. We're out there in the socials. We're doing it, the Instas and the Twitters and the Facebooks. We're making it happen there. Oh, before we're going to take off here, Rob, we got some folks to thank over at Patreon.
Oh, God.
I'm jumping into the socials before we even get to the thank you. What
people
is wrong with me?
In the world.
All right, Robert, let's do this.
Michael Wesley Morgan.
Thank you, Michael.
Derek H.
Thank you, Derek.
Dave Baxter.
Hell yeah, Dave. Thank you so much.
Rick Belcher. Hey, Rick.
Oh, shit. He's one of the mods over there at the Facebook
Hell yeah,
group.
he is. It's a great little place. Great people.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to see you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Siobhan Barrera.
Thank you, Siobhan.
Maybe Siobhan. If I got it wrong, Siobhan, let us know and you get a freebie.
Okay, there you go.
Todd B.
Thank you, Todd.
Kinsley Mason.
Thank you, Kingsley.
Ben Forsyth.
Thank you, Ben.
MD CRXLY. Don't know what the last letters mean.
What?
He just seems like it's like a doctor name, like a TV show from the 70s. Ben Forsyth. Attorney at surgery. Fucking
Jesus Christ. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben. Bridget Hunsucker.
Thank you, Bridget.
Oh, that's a fun name. Eric Fritton.
Hell yeah, Eric. Thank you all for continued support over there. Patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. The $1 is the one bonus audio in the shout outs and the access to the Discord. And the $5 is the 4 to 5, depending on how many Sundays are going to be that month, good sir.
Hell yeah.
Bonus audios plus the access to the Discord and the shout outs and all that stuff there. Again, that is Patreon.com/Cryptonaut Podcast. Also, too, our bonus episodes are available on Spotify.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have the app. You can just jump on Spotify. They're all connected right there. It's
easy
super cool.
Peasy, mac and cheese.
Yeah, wicked easy to use. Super awesome over there. As I was saying, the social media is the Instas and the Twitters and the Facebook. Social media is out there doing it, destroying everything in its wake.
Yep. So join us there.
Yeah, until fucking AI shows up and no one knows what's real or what's happening.
I mean, you can barely tell like AI people from real people. So eventually we're all getting catfished for everything all the time.
Exactly. So be sure to check us out there and do all that. Merch is available at Cryptonaut merch and of course hellerspace.com. Check all that stuff out there. And yeah, man, there's all the things, all the links for all this it's going to be in the description of this podcast. You can go down there, you can click it, you can do your shit there. So.
Yes. Buy yourself a Christmas gift on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And make it some lovely work.
There's always sales. I mean, just get on there and be like, you know what? I bought everyone else some shit. I'm now going to buy myself some shit.
Hell yeah.
And that's how you're going to do it.
I would.
All right, man. Well, shit, there it is. So real quick here, before we close this episode out, we want to make an announcement here at the end of the show. A longtime podcast supporter, listener,
great guy,
a good buddy of ours,
yes,
an artist, a super talented dude, our buddy Lance Irwin. As I mentioned, descriptions in this podcast, we're going to have a link. Unfortunately, recently, Lance was diagnosed with stage 3 pancreatic cancer. There's going to be there is currently a GoFundMe going on for him and his family because obviously, as all of us know, cancer is just fucking horrific, and it's just it's an expense on everything. It's hard,
hard
obviously,
on every part of everybody,
monetarily, just on your family, on everything. Yeah, it's a fucking nightmare. But Lance is a good dude. We're gonna put the GoFundMe link into this description of this episode. We're gonna have it out on the social medias.
Yeah, anything to help out him and his family.
Yeah, and again, this is just kind of a GoFundMe to help with with cancer expenses and whatnot. So yeah, just check that out there if you can support him and his family. Feel free to do so. That would be fucking awesome. We greatly appreciate it. And yeah, man, there it is. Cryptonaut Podcast ending out this episode again.
Merry Christmas,
man. Merry Christmas. There it is. Merry Christmas, one and all. And
yeah.
As we mentioned in the beginning of the show, just to reiterate here, we will not have an episode next week. We're going to be off between Christmas
vacation,
and Christmas vacation. Yeah,
know,
dude,
classic.
we're doing it.
It's a great tune.
Griswolds are going to make it
actually
happen.
a pretty good movie.
I love it. It's one of my fucking
the first
classics,
three actually
dude.
slap.
Yeah, no, for sure. So yeah, we will be off for a week, but we will be back January 8th, I believe, on Monday. So be sure to check it out there. And thank you all so very much. We'll be talking to you soon.
Have fun and keep it weird in the new year.
There it is, man. Yeah. Oh, we're going to see you next year, dude. Dude, yeah, I hate that. I fucking hate it. Everyone does it to me. I want to fucking slap the shit out of them.
Yeah.
But I don't. You know why? Because I'm a good fucking person.
You ever just turn to him and say, not if you're dead?
Wow.
That's a way to shut that shit down.
Yeah, there you go. You know what? Disclosure. How about that? Go listen to our episode on fucking disclosure, okay?
Yeah, no, not on Christmas.
Yeah.
It's too heavy.
No, Jesus, it's a lot. It's a thick boy right there. It's
It
a
is.
thick-ass boy to chew.
It's a lot of chewing.
All right.
Grizzle.
Yeah, sure. All right, there it is. Thank you. Bye.